Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. This time I will tell you about, we still talk about sentences of course, but this time I will focus on the problems that you usually make when while while you write sentences. Um, this section will review some of more common problems that beginning writers encounter, like sentence fragments, choppy sentences, stringy sentences, run-on sentences, parallelism, and active and passive voice. If you, I'm very lucky when I find this file, because when I read it, I feel like this is what I really need, and this is what I think you really need to know. So please paying attention when watching this video or even reading the PDF, okay? Um, because this can help you to improve your writing in writing sentences. So let's just start. So first one is sentence fragments. Um, let's see. Many beginning writers make the mistakes of writing sentence fragments. So what is sentence fragments? Um, when you read something and you don't really understand the word, do not ask right away. Keep reading, because sometimes the answer is in the next sentence, like this one. Uh, make the mistakes of writing sentence fragments. So what are sentence fragments? You can say it here. So the sentence fragments are groups or words that are not complete sentences. So namanya fragments ya. Fragments itu ya, aduh sorry. Yang namanya fragment itu potongan gitu, okay? So it's not a complete one. There are three reasons for sentence fragments appear in a sentence. Like there is either no subject in the sentence, or no verb in the sentence, or there is no independent clause. These are a very common feedback or comments I give to you, right, in your assignment. Like I ask, where is the verb? Where's the subject? It has no. It has no verb. It has no subject. Atau add be here, because again, because when reading your sentences, these are not actually a sentence. It's just a sentence fragment. Jadi itu diperhatikan. Um, ini tiga alasannya. Yang pertama, kalau bukan hilang subjeknya, yang paling sering ya, hilang verbnya, atau yang tidak ada independent clause-nya kan. So you have learned about independent and dependent clause, and you know that a clause, when it is a dependent clause, then it cannot be a sentence. Okay, so you can't write like because it doesn't make sense, full stop. So you cannot write like that. It has to have a dependent clause that that accompany the dependent clause. Okay, so let's see here. So here are um, three complete sentences. Okay, John works on Tuesday. It seems simple, very simple. That's why it's called simple sentence, because it has only one independent clause. So it has one subject. It has one. Sorry, saya ganti dulu nanti salah. Yeah, it has one subject, John. It has one verb, works, and then it has an adverb of time, on Tuesday. The second one, it's more simple. Okay, the sun is the subject, and then there is a verb which is shines. Okay. So it's complete, even though it's very short, but it's complete. Yes, and then Mary and Tony is the subject. Is the subject, and then are engaged is the verb, and it has two. This sentence has two verbs: are engaged, and then will be. Okay, so will be married is not a verb here. It's more like apa itu namanya, verb participle ya. Yeah, will be met, but okay, kalau ditanya verbnya yang mana, ya dari sini, will be married in March. Uh, so these are example of uh, complete complete sentences. Now, why then these are called complete sentences? It's because it's very clear harus ada ini kan. So here is the requirement. Ini persyaratannya. Here are the condition. It has subject, verb, and a complete thought. So it has a complete thought. Okay. Now you will see here. Here are the example of sentence fragments. Rained every day last week. Sally and Minju every day. For example, cakes and cookies by the time I get to Phoenix. So if we see for the first one, rained every day last week. Ini mungkin kayak bahasa Indonesia. Tiap hari hujan minggu lalu, atau minggu lalu tiap hari hujan. Gitu ya. Kalau kita ngomong bahasa Indonesia kan kadang subjeknya kayak hilang aja gitu ya. But then if you write in English, if you have this kind of how to say, cara berpikir ya, bahaya karena kamu berpikirnya pola kalimat bahasa Indonesia, sedangkan when you write in English you have to think as English speaker ya. Jadi rained every day last week, ini kalau kamu lihat salahnya di mana ya, ada verbnya ya, ada rained every day last week are the adverb of times. You see, there is a verb, there is adverb of time, but it has no subject. Jadi ini ya sentence fragment aja, dia tidak lengkap ya. Ini tidak ada subjeknya. Lalu yang kemudian Sally and Minju every day. Sally and Minju are the subjects, and then every day is adverb of time. Where is the verb? Kan kayak gitu ya. For example, cakes and cookies, ya udah yang jelas banget kan, cuma noun aja gitu, tidak ada verbnya. By the time I get to Phoenix, ketika saya tiba di Phoenix, begitu saya tiba di Phoenix, then what? Okay, so this one, it has subject, it has verb, it has adverb of place. Itu ya lengkap banget sebenarnya. But because of the word by the time, it makes this one has no complete thought. Ini tidak lengkap ya. Makanya this is a dependent clause. Ini dependent clause ya. By the time I get to Phoenix. Jadi dia tidak boleh, it cannot stand alone as a sentence because again, a dependent clause must attached to saya tambahin di sini. So this begini ya, a dependent clause. Okay. Sekarang, jadi so you all already know why these three fragments are not sentence ya, jadi tidak benar. Jadi kalau diperbaiki ya, kalau rained every day tadi it has no subject, then you add a subject, it rained every day last week. Lalu gini, Sally and Minju every day, it has no verb, then you add a verb. Sally and Minju played, Sally and Minju go to watch apa gitu ya, Sangchi mungkin, okay, on the theater for the first time after COVID ya, attacked. So you add any verb, pokoknya tambah aja verb biar kalimatnya lengkap. So ini dikasih contoh, Sally and Minju played on the beach every day on their vacation. Lalu yang ketiga tadi apa? For example ya, tadi ya, Luke likes anything sweet for dessert, for example cakes and cookies. Lalu yang by the time, okay, by the time I get to Phoenix, add. Jadi begitu saya tiba di Phoenix, tambahkan kalimat apa yang akan terjadi begitu saya tiba di Phoenix. Apakah kamu akan jemput saya? Apakah akan ada pesta kembang api? Apakah apa gitu ya? So di sini example-nya disampaikan, by the time I get to Phoenix, she will be returning home from work. Jadi kalau kamu belajar tenses, kamu pasti tahu bahwa kata by the time itu digunakan untuk tenses apa. Ya, so be careful. Ini saya kasih sedikit clue gitu. Jadi kata by the time itu digunakan untuk tenses future biasanya. Tapi future kan ada banyak ya. Ada simple future, ada present, future continuous, ada future perfect, ada apa gitu, past future perfect ya gitu ya. Nah, jadi silakan belajar lagi tensesnya. Jadi kalau dia by the time, tenses future yang mana yang dipakai? Ya, tapi intinya di sini bukan by the time ya, tapi closer by the time. By the time I get to Phoenix. Okay. Jadi dia menjadi adverb of time sebenarnya, tapi karena dia berbentuk klausa ya udah dia jadi dependent clause. Gitu ya. Jadi correcting a sentence fragment involves either adding a subject or adding a verb or changing the dependent clause into an independent one as the examples above have shown. Okay. Mungkin bukan changing ya, tapi adding ya, adding the independent one to the dependent clause. So that's the first common problem that you usually make. So sentence fragments. Then move to the next one. Ini nanti PDF-nya ada ya, jadi silakan lihat aja nanti. Ini beberapa again, banyak banget conjunction. Silakan kamu cari. Now the next one is choppy sentences. Chop, 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 chop. Kalau daging dicop itu dipotong-potong gitu ya, dipotong-potong jadi kecil, namanya chop. So apalagi itu disebut dengan choppy sentence. So here, choppy sentences are sentences that are too short. Ini sering banget juga kamu pakai, apalagi nanti kamu mau menulis paragraf gitu ya. Kalau when ya tidak salah menulis kalimat pendek, tentu tidak salah. But then ketika dibaca kayak alurnya kayak dipotong-potong gitu, kayak jalan tersendat-sendat karena dia terlalu pendek gitu ya. Maksudnya kayak kamu kalau jalan gitu ya, mau kemana, misalnya dari rumah kamu ke rumah temanmu, setiap jalan kamu kayak dipotong, kamu dipanggil misalnya, jalan lagi satu langkah dipotong lagi, kan tidak enak ya, karena kayak flow-nya itu tersendat. Nah, itu yang dimaksud dengan choppy sentences. So these choppy sentences should be combined to make longer sentences. Look at the example below. I like dogs. Dogs make good pets. Dogs are friendly and loyal. Kerasa ya, kerasa banget. Then we can fix these sentences. We can write it like this. I like dogs because they are friendly and loyal. These two traits make dogs good pets. Atau kamu boleh ganti di sini. Dogs menjadi them, biar dogsnya tidak berulang. Because again, in English you have pronoun, so the pronoun is used to substitute the subject or the noun ya, yang sudah disebutkan sebelumnya, itu diganti dengan pronoun so that you can avoid repetition. Ya seperti itu. Jadi kalian bisa lihat, rasakan, misalnya kalian baca I like dogs. Dogs make good pets. Dogs are friendly and loyal. But then you read this one, of course, you read this one, the second sentence, pasti kamu sudah jelas merasa bahwa yang kedua ini it's better. Flow-nya itu lebih enak dibaca. Ya, kita kayak jalan terus saja. Jalan terus dan kita berhenti di tempat yang tepat. Okay? So for choppy sentences, I suggest you to make use the conjunctions gitu ya. Jadi pakai conjunctionnya, tapi pakai yang tepat gitu ya. Jangan pakai. So when you use conjunction, you have to understand apa sih fungsinya conjunction ini. Ketika dia dihubungkan kalimatnya itu jadi maknanya apa. Ya. Jadi misalnya kamu pakai kata because, ya tentu maknanya jadi sebab akibat kan. Kamu pakai kata and, maka di situ maknanya adalah penambahan. Oke, penambahan informasi misalnya seperti itu. Jadi kayak my father likes orange and I like strawberry. So there is tidak ada hubungan sebab akibat, tidak ada hubungan mengatakan bahwa kejadian yang terjadi pada saat bersamaan, tidak kan ya. Tapi dia paralel aja, setara. Nah, itu yang dimaksud, dan itu yang saya maksud. That's what I mean by you have to understand the function of or the purpose, okay, of the conjunction that you will use. Karena banyaknya lagi yang salah yang saya lihat, ada beberapa yang salah yang saya lihat ketika memakai you think in your native language. Kamu berpikir dalam bahasa Indonesia. Again, you will write a sentence in English, so you have to think like an English speaker. Yeah. So that's the second problem, choppy sentences. So because choppy sentences, just remember about meat, ya. Ada kita bilang chop dagingnya dicopper, chopper ya, istilah chopper. Chopper tadi dikasih kecil-kecil, dipotong kecil-kecil. That means choppy sentences are sentences that are too short. Okay. And then string is sentences. String, ada string, senar, ya. Senar itu panjang atau pendek? panjang tentunya. Jadi stringy sentences is are the contrary are on the contrary or the contrast of choppy. So choppy are too short, stringy are too long. Okay. Um, apa ya? Nah ini dia very long. So some beginners writing have a tendency to write and write, producing a very long sentences. Ya, jadi stringnya itu producing very long sentences. Biasanya itu banyaknya karena entah independent clausesnya yang banyak atau dependent clause-nya banyak. Oke, jadinya saya nggak tahu kelas ini atau kelas mana ya. Yang kemarin saya kasih tugas. Jadi ada di dalam itu sudah ada kata although, ada kata because, ada kata and, ada kata apa lagi tuh, then ya misalnya gitu. Panjang banget kalimatnya. Jadinya stringy sentences. So these types of sentences can be a problem for the reader. Bisa banget jadi masalah buat pembaca because it can be difficult to comprehend and tiresome to read. Susah dimengerti karena kita nggak tahu mau berhenti di mana kita, dan juga capek kita bacanya. Ya, capek bacanya karena nggak tahu kapan sih habisnya ini sentence gitu. So you have to remember that when I read your sentences, I need some time to understand what you're writing. Jadi kalau terlalu panjang dan ya, ini contohnya misalnya ya, let me give you example how I read this sentence and feel, or you can read with me. Kayak kita baca bersama gitu ya, kamu ikuti saya. So taking a bath every day is very important for personal hygiene because if a person doesn't bath every day, they could become sick and they would start to smell really bad and people would give them very funny looks and not want to be around them. Whew. Finally I can breathe. Kamu bisa merasakan ya, you don't have any place to pause. Kamu tidak ada tempat untuk berhenti. Padahal harusnya tidak seperti itu ya. Makanya you need comma, you need period, because those punctuation marks help me as a reader to find a better place to take a breath for a while or to rest for a while. Tuh. Ya, ini terlalu panjang. Coba kalau kita perbaiki. Ini contoh yang diperbaikinya. Taking a bath every day is important for personal hygiene. If a person doesn't bath every day, they could become sick. Ini harus ada koma di sini ya. Yeah. If the person doesn't bath every day, they could become sick. In addition, they would begin to smell. People would give them funny looks and avoid them. So, beda ya cara baca yang pertama sama yang kedua. Yang pertama itu punya lancar aja. Karena tidak ada tempat berhentinya. But then, in the second one, I feel relaxed to read it because I know there are some periods there are some commas there where I can pause for a moment. Jadi itu yang disebut dengan stringy sentences. So be careful, there is choppy sentences, there are choppy sentences, there are also stringy sentences. So you decide, kamu yang putuskan gitu ya. Jangan sampai kalimat terlalu pendek dan juga terlalu panjang. Kalau dibilang berapa syaratnya ya, kan ada compound kompleks ya. At least itulah yang kamu punya, 2 independent. At least ada mungkin 3 lah. Ya 3 klausa, paling banyak mungkin 3 klausa. Kalau ada 4 klausa ya bisa. Yang penting jangan terlalu panjang juga. Ada kemarin saya kasih ya, saya dikasih atau bukannya. Ada yang memang dia 4 clause di dalam, tapi karena dia bukan di dalam itu bukan hanya adverb clause tapi ada juga noun clause, jadinya bisa bagus kalimatnya gitu. Jadi kamu belajar banyak latihan. Sekali lagi banyak latihan memang untuk seperti itu, untuk to know where to put the punctuation marks. Atau gini lah, kalau kamu sudah nulis baca sendiri atau give someone else. Makanya kalau untuk writing you need a proofreader namanya ya. Proofreader. PROOF, reader, pembaca, to read your sentences and then to give some kind of opinion. Ya, ini kalimatmu terlalu begini. That's what you need when you write something. Okay, let's just move to the next one. Ada yang disebut dengan run-on sentences. Ini bukan judul drama ya. Run-on sentences. Ya. Nah ini, dia adalah two or more independent clauses with no punctuation. Ya kan kemarin sudah belajar ya. Yang namanya two or more independent clauses means it's a compound sentence. In a compound sentence, there are three ways you can do. You can add comma, you can use apa? Yang pertama, you can use semicolons without conjunction, right? The second one, you add coordinating conjunction like fanboys, but then you have to use comma before the fanboys. Okay. The third one is you can use transition words, okay, but then you have to put semicolons first, and then the transition word, and then a comma. So there are some kind of methods that you can choose. Nah, itulah yang disebut dengan run-on sentences, yang biasanya salahnya ada di tanda bacanya. Okay. Like nih, my mother likes to cook and she cooks delicious cakes and cookies, and I love the smell of the house whenever she is baking something because it makes my mouth water. Ini juga agak panjang ya, tapi dia tuh kayak digabung, independent clause-nya digabung-gabung, jadi pakai n ya, pakai ya n-nya banyak banget kan, 1, 2 ya, tambah lagi whenever because. Okay. Jadi how to fix this one, tadi using period, okay, or using subordinating conjunction. Oh wait, salah. Okay. Atau adding extra words. Ya, misalnya ini tadi kalimat yang ini ya diperbaiki. Jadinya my mother likes to cook. Her cakes and cookies are especially delicious. I love the smell of the house whenever she is baking because it makes my mouth water. Jadi diperbaiki bagian atas ya. Jadi tadi kan my mother likes to cook and she cooks delicious cakes and cookies and I love the ya, itu. Jadi yang ini dipisah. Jadinya my mother likes to cook, her cakes and cookies are especially delicious. Of course there are other ways to change this sentence ya. Tidak harus seperti ini yang disarankan ya. Bisa nggak kalau saya pakai yang lain memang boleh, tapi bisa kan kalau yang mungkin kalau ini mungkin lebih kayak ke ahli ya. Kalau yang beginner mungkin pikirannya kayak gini aja, my mother likes to cook, koma ya, koma karena ada kata and. Gini ya, my mother likes to cook, koma. Sorry, bukan situ, harusnya di sini. Aduh, salah tempat sih. Bukan situ. Ya. Sorry guys, can't do that. Saya bisa perfikskan sini. Ya intinya sini, my mother likes to cook, comma, and she cooks delicious cakes and cookies. Titik. Ya kan, lalu I love the smell, sudah hilang n-nya. And I love the smell of the house whenever, itu bisa. Okay, so that's run-on sentence. The next one, parallelism. Ini yang paling sering saya dapat juga kak. Jadi parallelism dari kata paralel, okay, repetition of the same grammatical forms or structure, itu yang disebut parallelism. Jadi kalau dia sama, paralel bentuknya, okay. Nah, biasanya kalau gini misalnya listing items, tapi tidak harus list ya, karena 2 saja pun sudah masuk parallelism, okay. Like for example, you use the word and, okay. Bahkan kalau cuma 2 saja itu kan sudah harus pakai parallelism, jadi harus setara. Jadi parallelism is achieved by using coordinating conjunctions. Ini paling sering banget sih and ya, karena and itu paling produktif banget dipakai. Atau correlative conjunctions. So we have coordinating, we also have correlative conjunctions ya. Coordinating fun boys, correlative conjunction itu yang dua ya, both pasangannya adalah and. Jadi kalau kamu tulis both harus ada and di belakangnya, harus ada and. Oke. Kalau pakai kata not only harus ada but also-nya. Neither, nor, either, or. Oke. Kita langsung aja ini. Contohnya. Alice enjoys cooking, sewing, and knitting. Semuanya gerund ya. Jadi cuma kamu sewing. Cooking. Ini knitting. Nah, yang biasa salah itu Alex cooking, sewing, to cook. Itu nggak boleh. Harus gerund. Atau nggak, Mr. Thomas is educated, sophisticated, and domesticated. Jadi harus semua adjective. Oh, she's friendly, lovely, ya, and kind-hearted. Itu. Jadi bukan oh she's lovely and like sharing, like doing charity, itu kan salah karena tidak setara. Oke, misalnya kayak saya ketik ya biar kamu lihat bedanya. Sini saya ketik aja sini ya, kayak gini. Jadi bukan ya Mr. Thomas, for example, right? Mr. Thomas is lovely, handsome, itu aja dulu, and likes charity, for example. Ya. Ini kurang tepat karena it's not correct because you have and here, so you have to use lovely is adjective, handsome is adjective, so you have to use adjective also here. Apa yang bisa saya pakai ya? Kamu bisa pakai kata generous. Ya, karena generous itu kan menunjukkan bahwa dia suka charity, suka nyumbang. Okay, so I change it to generous. Udah. So that's it. Nah, ini harus diganti jadi generous. Oke ya, so that's apa yang dimaksud parallelism. Biasanya itu agak salah ketika sudah panjang kalimatnya. Misalnya my hobby is reading a novel, listening to music, and to misalnya nggak boleh karena kamu bilang reading a novel, listening to music itu bentuk gerund, so di setelah kata and itu juga harus ing. Okay. Then last one is active and passive voice. This is a very sering yang tidak disadari bikin kalimat kamu buatnya pasif. Okay. So voice is the verb form that shows the relationship. Ini aja yang penting. In the active voice, the subject perform the action of the verb. Okay, jika itu saja, saya makan, dia berlari, itu kan kelihatan bahwa subjeknya melakukan sesuatu. Okay, Ani menggambar. Ya, kalau di passive voice, the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action of verb. Okay, beda ya, jadi satu yang perform, satu receiver. Nah gini kali ya, saya ubah. So active voice, subject perform. Okay, and the passive voice, the subject is the receiver. So it's different. Nah, bedanya itu juga bentuknya berbeda ya. Jadi kalau dia active voice, maka dia kalimat biasa yang umumnya kalian tahu ketika belajar tenses. So, subject and the verb and the object. Jadi ya kalau dia simple present, you use verb 1, okay, plus es or es. If it's continuous, then be verb ing. If it's perfect, then has, have, had, and verb 3, right? Future, then you use will, right? But then, if it's passive voice, then you have to remember you have to use auxiliary verb, and then it's past participle. Past participle itu verb 3. Ya, kamu taunya pasti verb 3. Jadi itu yang diingat. Sorry, aduh mana sih? Nah, oke. Okay. There is agent, walaupun selalu, tapi biasanya kan kita bikinnya agent itu siapa? Ya, I was hit by, saya dipukul oleh siapa? Itu agentnya dimaksud. Oke, okay? I was hit by my brother. Ya mungkin berkelahi gitu ya, lagi bertengkar. So I say I was hit by my brother. Nah, so you see here, the candy is a subject. The candy bar is a subject, and then was auxiliary verb, and then eaten verb 3 by Bob the agent. Ya. Terus sekali lagi agent ini bisa ndak harus ada, bisa ndak harus ada kalimat yang tidak perlu ada agentnya, karena yang penting bahwa kita tahu bahwa subjeknya dikenai pekerjaan. Ya. Nah, yang kadang salah, ya kan, yang banyak terjadi di kalian, you write sentence like this. Bob, for example, is eats the candy. Malah kalau nggak pakai s malah ya, is eat the candy. Dia pakai candy. Ini yang sering kalian akan lakukan. Ya, Bobby is eat a candy. Ada be-nya, ada it-nya. Selalu saya bilang kan ya, yang namanya kalimat ya kalimat especially active, because you know Bob it yang kamu maksud ya Bob doing something, so it's active sentence, active voice. Jadi tidak ada be-nya dong di situ. Harusnya Bob eats a candy. Kalau saya mau pakai is ma'am, ya of course boleh, boleh saja. Tapi sekali lagi kalau pakai is, because this is active, then you cannot use verb 3. You have to use verb ing, because ing is in continuous. Okay, like this. Biar kamu tidak pusing. Saya tuliskan. Here, atau is. Ini yang benar. Sorry. Ya. Jadi please tolong ini diperhatikan banget ini. Ini kalian harus malu kalau kalau bikin kalimatnya kayak gini. Oke? Okay? Karena sekali lagi tidak ada kalimat yang seperti ini jelas-jelas salah, totally wrong. Bob is it a candy. Dia tuh kayak it's not clear. Dia maunya apa? Ya, tenses tidak jelas, tidak tahu juga dia pasif atau aktif gitu kan ya. Kalau dari sentence grammarnya kayak gini. Nah, tapi kalau dari maknanya kita sudah tahu sih sebenarnya. Dia ini maksudnya Bob makan, bukan Bob dimakan. Tidak mungkin kan Bob dimakan ya. Jadi pasti Bob makan. So if the subject performs an action, it's active voice. Tapi sekali lagi, when you write, yang kamu tulis, yang dinilai, bukan apa yang maksud di kepalamu ya. Paham gak sih? Because when you write, it means you express what's in your mind. So if your sentence is not clear, then as a reader, I will not understand what you are thinking, what you want to say to us, what do you want to say to me. Jadi kalimat sekali lagi Bob is it a candy itu nanggung ya, tenses tidak jelas, aktif atau pasif pun tidak jelas. Ya, ini kesalahan yang paling sering kalian lakukan. Kesalahan kedua sebenarnya terakhir harusnya ada sini dia, saya baru ingat subject verb agreement ya, itu sangat banyak salahnya juga. Oke, aduh kok nggak mau lagi, oh ya, ya kan, subject saya sering banget ini verb, ada yang pakai some use hyphen here, some not. Saya pakai nggak usah, saya sih lebih cenderung pakai ya, karena yang ini ya masalah subject verb agreement. Jadi again subject verb agreement adalah ya kalau literal translationnya adalah persetujuan subject dan verb, which means if the subject is singular, then the verb should be as or at as ya. Ini saya dulu ajar pas bimbel, saya pasti ajar ini ke mahasiswa, ke murid saya. Ya saya kayak gini, verbnya pasti ada s-nya. Itu yang saya maksudnya. Is this perhatikan aja, kamu perhatikan. Atau saya kasih gini ya, biar kamu lihat. Jadi bisa ada S-nya. Wait. No, no, no. Atau ya. Ini kamu bisa lihat. So here, if the subject is singular, ini sering lagi saya kasih tips dari yang saya ajar dulu waktu ngajar bimbingan. Jadi kalau dia subjek single, ya, single, ada s-nya di situ, maka verbnya itu ada s-nya juga, ya. Jadi entah dia uh, kayak ini, it's, ya, atau dia nanti pakai is, eating, right? Atau kalau saya mau bikin yang baru, misalnya saya mau tulis Bob has eaten candy, ya. Atau kalimat lain yang pakai does, Bob does not eat candy. See, dia pasti pakai s kalau dia subjeknya singular. Ini supaya kamu gampang ingatnya, ya. Tapi kalau dia subjeknya plural, maka tentu selain yang ada s-nya. Ya, itu yang subject verb agreement yang banyak memang salah juga yang saya dapatkan. Kamu bisa lihat sendiri lah di grup apa yang paling sering saya komentari gitu ya. Itu baru satu tugas, bagaimana tugas yang sebelum-sebelumnya. Okay, so please, these are some common problems. I really hope you understand the points. Banyak masih ada yang lain tentunya, but again I choose to give you the most common one. So I hope after this, when I check your sentences later, I will not, semoga saya tidak lagi kasih, I will not give this kind of comments in your writing gitu. Jadi saya tidak perlu tulis lagi bahwa subject verb agreement, saya tidak perlu tulis lagi parallelism, saya tidak perlu tulis lagi apa passive voice. Ya, mungkin kalau passive mungkin masih perlu ya, karena itu masuk bagian grammar sebenarnya. Jadi silakan banyak belajar di grammarnya. Tapi saya harap ya kayak koma-koma, tanda baca itu harusnya lebih terlatih lagi gitu. Uh, sudah sudah terimprove ya. I hope kesalahannya sudah berkurang. Ya. I think these are some points that I can tell you about the problems that I frequently found in students writing. I hope you understand the material, but again, if you have any questions, you can ask in the group. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the group, in the classroom. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning or good afternoon.